Hello, America. This is Richard Gomez, founder of USA Veterans Helping Veterans. And I'm here with TVC Latino TV station. We're over here visiting right here, Assemblyman Mike Morell, right here, District 40th. Let's go in and see what he has to say about this homeless veterans crisis that we're facing today. Well, you can see it right now. We made it in. Let me introduce you to our Assemblyman out here in the 40th District, Mr. Mike Morell. Mike, Mike, what do you think about homeless veterans?
Well, being an American, we don't want any of our fellow citizens to be homeless.
Correct.
But it's especially saddening to me when you have men and women who have fought for our country. They've been willing to go over, pay the price, put their lives on the line. And so I feel an obligation. Even Abraham Lincoln said that we have an obligation to take care of our vets as well as their widows. And so since we have homeless vets, we need to do this coming up on Sunday, August 11th, don't we?
Oh, yes, definitely. What is your view of seeing some of these vets out there in the streets and not receiving the help that they really should?
Well, there's two aspects, because I have an opportunity to speak to some of these vets, and I think there's number one, we need to help them, and the good work that you and your organization is doing is just this telethon we're going to have. It's a great way of helping them. There are some other things in San Bernardino that I'm trying to be involved with that are on the radar, where we're trying to get some federal money to be in housing for some vets. But also, I've noticed sometimes some vets the only way I can express it is maybe they've been so far down and out that a lot of times they don't come looking for help, you see, and those are the hard ones to find.
That's correct. Yeah. I know it's a big job ahead of us, and with the support of people like you, we really appreciate it. And do you have any ideas, more or less, what we could do?
Of course I do. I think number one, what we're doing is we're allowed, the TV station has allowed us to clearly communicate to people, and so the more we can communicate and get the word out, I think that's one way. Also, communication leads to collaboration, and that's what we're doing. We're collaborating. We have this event on Sunday, August the 11th, starting at 5 p.m., a telethon to raise money for homeless vets. And so we're trying to get more of our friends involved. We're trying to get our public involved, anybody who wants to come out and help. I think that would be a next good step. And then the final phase is we work with our vets. And it's going to be an ongoing process. So this is just one step of many more things that we're going to have to do.
God bless you, because we need more people like you to help us. And to tell you the truth right now, we'll be right back, okay?
Thank you.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. One more time right here, I want to continue this conversation right here with the Assemblyman. What is it that you really, really believe that we need to do to help our returning veterans?
Well, I think there's a lot of things we could do. There's practical things, and again, just the fact that we're talking about this on television, we're communicating to the audience, people within our communities is one good step. Number two, I've got a program that's coming up which you're going to be involved in, where we're going to honor a lot of vets, and we're trying to get all the veterans organizations from the VAs, the American Legions, as well as the VFWs, that type of thing, as well as the disabled vets. We're going to get together and we're going to have a program that honors them. But in our community, we can't save every vet in America, but since I'm responsible for most of San Bernardino County, I'm trying to get together all these veterans organizations, and we're trying to, by networking them together, that way they can help us, to be able to find these vets that are homeless, having problems with medical problems, and they need, they can go to the VA hospital and get free medical attention.
Absolutely.
But the problem is if they are homeless, the VA does not know where to send their cards to. So those are some practical things that I've been doing, and now I've just, our relationship has hooked up in the last few weeks, and it's good because now we're working together, and we're making that circle stronger and larger.
Yeah, one of the things we must unite on is that we have AMVETS, American Legions, USOs, or UFO, how about that one? But anyway, But we have the American Legion. We have veterans in there that have been in combat. But the time has come that we have to go out there and find these veterans. Our combat veterans are dwindling. Now it's the new generation that's coming back from Kuwait and Afghanistan, all that. We need to go out and find these things. It's the job of all of us veterans, returning veterans and combat veterans, to go out and find them. But once we find them, we need assistance, from the VA hospitals, special programs, and our city officials and our state officials. Now, do you have any ideas on what you can do to help these veterans in need?
Yeah. One of the things, too, I think just using my position to be able to rally the troops together will make us stronger. But also, there's pockets of them. Where there's pockets of them. My friend Richard out at the disabled vets, he understands, that side of town where some of them are. So I think that's a big step. But also, I'm working on a program right now, and it's a little premature, but again, it's going to be with through the county of San Bernardino, where we may get a grant. I'm not 100% sure, but if we do get this grant for our vets, what it'll be used for is strictly to be able to find apartments for them to rent. And in that way, we can filter them into the apartment buildings. And so the first step is we have to identify those people. Second step is then we'll get them help by getting them into these homes. And in that way, they have an address where a card can come to them. And now they'll be able to go to the VA Center or Loma Linda and get some help. But now working it backwards a little bit to the first step is we want our audience to come out and help us as a community here in San Bernardino and the surrounding communities on, again, it's Sunday, August the 11th at 5 p.m. at the ASU Fox Theater. That's a great first step for all of us to be able to come together as a community and help those people who protected us as well as guarded our freedoms.
Yes, and this is a fact. When we were out there in Vietnam, our main goal was we leave nobody behind. And right here, that's the same thing what we're trying to do. We're not leaving any veteran behind, any homeless veteran behind. We are not. We must do something about it, and we must rally together and perform a positive service. We'll be right back. I'm back. Guest speaker right here is Mike Morell, right here, Assemblyman. Now, Mike, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was jobs for returning veterans. Do you have any input on that?
That is one of my main priorities is the state assembly member here in the what's called the 40th district, which, by the way, that includes Rancho Cucamonga, San Bernardino, Highland, Grand Terra, or Redlands, Loma Linda, a small part of Yucaipa, Phelan, and Lido Creek. So it's about 500,000 people. And of course, we're in the Inland Empire, which has been hit pretty hard for jobs, pretty hard for homeless. As we know, unfortunately, the city of San Bernardino has gone bankrupt. So there are some challenges. The good news are there's some great people in our community, and they're stepping up, they're coming forward. And one of the things I've been working with is employers, manufacturers, retailers, the service industries, as well as insurance, health, and banking. And there is a concerted effort where these businesses are looking and trying to give priorities to vets for jobs. But one of the big challenges we have, too, they have to be trained. And so there is a training center here in Rancho Cucamonga. There's been one training session done, but we need to do more. And so that's another. I mean, look at the mission is big, but we're going to accomplish it with folks like you and your organization, yes. Richard. But it is one step at a time.
Right. We've actually made an approach to American Sports University in downtown San Bernardino if they could assist us with the certificates of training for the American veterans, from the past and for the returning ones now. Okay, you are right. We need to have that. We need to train Americans here. We need to establish more jobs. Yeah. But one thing we do need more than anything, we need to put the word out.
Yeah, and one other thing, too, just getting back to a constitutional matter. There's only 17 enumerated powers in the Constitution. that legislators should be doing, and today we're doing thousands of them. And half of them is to provide for the national defense, and then the other half is governments not to be in business, but they should be in the business of providing infrastructure so commerce and business can do well, and families and people we can thrive. But also we have a responsibility to help our vets. I brought something with me today because knowing that you and I were going to talk, this is just real powerful. Abraham Lincoln was talking that he affirmed the government's obligation to care for those injured during the war and to provide for the families of those who perished on the battlefield. And I love this, what he said. It's very simple, but directly to the point. It says, our obligation is to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow, and for his orphan. So, we do as Americans, fellow Americans, have a responsibility to help our vets who have come home, especially the ones that are struggling. And so we do this, and I think this job training, we have to do more of these things. And I also know that there's people in San Bernardino, we're here in Rancho Cucamonga today, where there's been a training facility, but we're also working on getting one with the community developed in San Bernardino, but it takes time.
We will support you in that, because one of the things that we need, veterans do need jobs. We are unique in a lot of our beliefs.
Yeah.
We never give up. And
No.
the idea, just give us the chance, we will perform.
I have a good statistic, though, okay? And this just came out a few days ago. Unemployment in California, I think, hovers at around 10%. And for years, unemployment on vets were higher than it was the normal public. That's actually fallen here in California to about, I think it's 7.6%. So we are getting vets back to work. So there is good news, I want to make sure,
To hear